Hi guys, welcome back to the channel here on Jared Gunston TV. I've got my scientist glasses on because we're going to be doing a few things a little bit technical today. If you're planning to do a one-man, two-man sort of gig, where you're going to be using some backtracks, and there's going to be a couple of issues you're going to come up into. Some of them are going to be related to things like track levels. Let's actually start right there. Today I've made 2 new tracks. I'm going to assume already that you either have the backtrack that you've either bought or you programmed it yourself. So here's my 2 tracks. I've got them all normalized at 0. I then run them through a couple of plugins. So mastering my tracks really. One-man show, new tracks, and then this is where I bounce all my tracks out to that I make. So once you've got your tracks, the next piece of software that you need to look into getting yourself is something called MP3 Gain. When you fire it up, it's going to look like this. Very simple little thing. You don't have to touch anything. Drag and drop, and you just go track gain. Then it analyzes, it sees if there's clipping. You see there nothing happened. But if you've normalized it to 0, it's going to go yes. And what it does is it works out an average loudness, which it applies to every MP3 that you import in there. Once my music level is set, I'm good to go for the night. Then step number 2, what I do, and maybe you want to think about something like this as well, is I've got a master project that I now have done a couple of things on. So like I'm containing a little bit of there, dropped a little bit of the bottom end. I've limited it to a certain thing. I'm running a very gentle compressor. You can see it's at 2.9 at a... This threshold probably looks high, but you must remember everything's coming in a lot softer now. You see, it's only coming in there. And then I do another one of these to get rid of some honk. And then I bounce those down into my master folder here. So for example, She Drives Me Crazy, and there was another song I did today. What was it? Losing My Religion. I need my lyrics. She drives me crazy lyrics. And I like AZ. Let me just go there. Grab them. Copy. All right. And the next piece of software that you're going to need is something called MP3 Tag. And once you've installed it, you can then have a look at your tracks. If you right click on them, it will allow you to then MP3 tag. So what I normally do is, let's say She Drives Me Crazy. I'll just select another one above it, and then I'll MP3 tag both of them. Because I like to keep my things organized as best as I can. I'll download that later. And then if you have a look at Sharp Dress Man, this is one that I know for sure is set up the way I like. I just have a look. I'll always keep the title and the artist right, because if I need to look up something quickly, I can. But album artist and composer, I just put my own name in there just for the sake of filing it in my iPad correctly. And then you just apply. If you select both of them, you see most of it goes to keep. You just change a few things like that. You would go in there, type in whatever your artist is, type in whatever your artist is, type in there. You can remove the picture, add a cover or whatever, and then you would hit the save before you click off of it, or else your settings won't be saved. The third thing you will need, which I'm sure most of us have already, is iTunes. Okay, we load it up into here. I've already dragged and dropped. So by keeping those artists and all various things the same, I get a nice little album here with my name and all my songs. So let's go look up She Drives Me Crazy. You're going to right click that and go to Song Information. Under Lyrics, you're going to go Custom Lyrics. and you're going to want to paste that in. That's just going to make later's work a lot easier. Save, and the other one was losing my religion, song info, lyrics, and wait for that to load. Don't click that. Copy, custom lyrics, paste. Okay, my iPad is plugged in. Something I wanted to show you that I do as well. I make a smart playlist. You do that by going Start, New, Smart Playlist. And I make one called Master. And in the rules of this, anything with the album artist of Jared Gunston, that's why I did that in MP3 gain. It will add my songs into here. So you should see now already Losing My Religion and She Drives Me Crazy. So that when we go into the iPad and we go under music and we select what we want to sync, that master playlist is always being synced. So I'm going to hit sync, and up at the top here, you should see it adding at least 2 new songs. There you go. There are the 2 songs I mentioned. You saw them get synced onto the iPad. Another quick tip while we're here. I like to label my songs with a rating. You can change these columns just by right-clicking anywhere here. And I add rating, and I give it a 1, a 3, or a 5. 1 is usually a ballad, 5 is like a more intense song, and a 3 is a sort of in the middle. And then I make smart playlists over here, so that if I have to come up with something on, for a day where they ask me for something a bit chilled, I can just pull this up and have a look through there, if it needs to be more party stuff, go through there. All right, so you've seen the importance of organizing, keeping everything so your library is synced, so that you can just plug in your iPad, sync it, it's all there. So that's really cool. So here is my iPad, and if I'm using an app called TRAXX, what I need to do now is add those songs to my library. So what we do is we go to songs, go add from iTunes library, from playlists, master, and there you can see it already. Losing My Religion. You see the little tick. It drives me crazy, and then you hit done. Starts to import the songs. And now remember the custom lyrics we did? There they are. Okay, so that's a good starting point. That means nothing, because when I press play, they're just going to stand in one spot. But what you do is you press play at the bottom. It starts playing the song. You make sure your cursor's at the top. Then you hit this little clock, and then it puts in time codes. So that will let your lyrics keep in the center. So if you need to, be sure of where you are in the song, the lyrics will be scanning. I do find doing 40 plus songs in a gig, you're not going to remember everything. So you need to get little keywords every now and then. But the time code comes important later for other features as well. All right, so that is now all time coded. Now you hit save. Now the next thing to do is to just double check your tempo for the song. And I know that my track is at 126. So if I have to bring that song up now, I've now got my lyrics, and if I have to hit play, So that just comes in handy. It's a nice little fail safe. The last thing you want to be doing is we've all been there. Maybe that's your solution. It's not mine. So the next thing that we're going to do is we go back to settings. Bluetooth MIDI setup. And I connect to my WIDI jack. Now, what I normally like to do is I make a couple of spaces there. A program change is what changes a memory, a patch, a sound. You know, for example, on a guitar pedal, you know how we have memories and banks. But even if you got banks, every memory has its own number. So bank 1, patch 1 would be program change 0.1 or 1. In some devices, it might be 0.0, but in all of mine, it's always been 1. Knowing that about a program change, the way that I like to use it is I get my iPad to send a command when I press play to put all my pedals in the right mode for it. So for at this point in time, I'm going to be in standard tuning. So the way you do it, you open a square bracket, go MIDI at, and then you got to put in a time. So I want it to happen at exactly 2 seconds. And then I've got 3 devices. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Now, number 1 is my SY1000, and I want that to be in standard tuning. So that is program change 12 at device number 1, comma. Then I want my guitar to be on the clean channel. So that's going to be program change 4 at 2. And then my third device is my VE500, which I think is 7. Yeah. So program change 7 at 3. So what that is saying is send program change number 12 to device 1, program change 4 to device 2, and program 7 to device 3. And then you close the bracket. Now, if I type exactly that in, square bracket, MIDI at 0.0.02, program change 12 at 1, program change 4 at 2, and program change 7 at 3, and close the bracket. See how it goes blue? That means it works. Now, the next thing that I like to do is send over a couple of commands. This brings me over to control changes. Control changes are things like within a patch, turning something on and off, like, for example, a delay, a reverb, on or off would be controlled via a control change. A wah pedal is what we call a momentary guitar control change. You know, so it's got position 0, and then all the way down is position 127. So momentarily, wherever you're moving it, that number's changing between 0 and 127. Maybe that will help you understand momentary assigns in some of your pedals as well. At 0.002.50. For some reason, millisecond has to be a dot. And we're going to say CC 21, because 21 is my delay on my vocal pedal. I want to turn it off just in case it's on. So you either would say 0 is off, or 127 is all the way on. So we're going to turn it off at 3, meaning device 3. So we do another one, CC 22, which is my reverb dot 0, meaning off, at device 3. And then CC 23, which is my harmonies on and off, 0 at 3. And then you would close the bracket again. Here we go. MIDI at 0.02.50, CC 21, 0 at 3, PC 22 naught at 3, 23 naught at 3, and close the bracket. It goes blue. And now we hit save and done. Now remember, and I made all of these. I use the same thing to, I play back my tune over there, and then I listen, and then I go, cool, at that point I want to add a chorus on, or a delay on the guitar on, or I want to change over to distortion now. I use the same thing for that. So this is now connected to the pedal. Now, when I was talking about my SY1000 being in control of my tunings, you can see that's on 4.1. And I could dial up and down here because these are all different tunings that I use. This is on my main vocals. So this would be delay. This would be reverb. This would be harmony. So I'm going to leave them on. And I'm going to change this to, let's put it there at drop D. If I press play, you're going to see within 2 seconds or 2.5, this is all going to turn off. But you'll see how that'll turn back to standard, which is 4-1. So we press play, and because of the coding, that's how simple MIDI coding is. It takes a bit of time, but that's how simple it is. Let me get you a close-up here of the vocal pedal. You'll see now, again, I'm going to press play, and it will change that vocoder back to main vocals. How cool is that? Anyway, so that's just a bit of how I use this to control my pedal boards. And if you're looking at starting yourself, there's a quick guide on a little bit of MIDI programming, hooking up a WIDI jack, and just setting up an app like TRAXX. I mean, I know there's others like OnSong and Setlist Helper, because I figured it's time to get into the world of wireless MIDI. Yeah, if you'd like a bit more details on this sort of thing, I mean, I'm doing this, I'm learning as I go. It's not easy at first. It's very frustrating because you've always got to be aware of. I just wanted to give a shout out to, not that he needs it, to Scott. Your videos have been very, very helpful as well. So thank you to you. And then I would also like to shout out Dean as well. I found that your core videos were really, really interesting to watch. And I think these were the videos that sort of gave me that little spark to go, I went and got myself one of those Roland WM1s. I liked it. It's just a bit bulky. I'm still using it. It's plugged into my GX100. But the goal and the plan is to eventually just have the CME WIDI jacks on all of them. And yeah, another shout out to CME, because they sent me the first one to try out. And I hope this was somehow helpful. If there's anything you guys would like, I know I've got a very slow and drawn out way of talking about things and explaining things. So if you want me to try and guide you on doing some MIDI stuff or anything, let me know. And stay tuned. More videos to come soon. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.